So, in the previous episode, we talked about what makes for a dream job. Let's go ahead and make sure we can zoom here. What makes for a dream job? And we have the whole video up. And basically, at the very end, what are the things that we need to do to have a dream job? And basically, it's not to worry about money, stress, and to not endlessly self reflect. So, today we're going to be talking about chapter 2 is can one person make a difference? So many people want to help others in their career. That's why a lot of people they want to be like a doctor or a lawyer or something. They want to help others, right? This is normal, this is good. This is what we want to do. The question we need to ask is how much good impact does becoming a doctor really do? So in the book they showed us this graph here. This shows you the amount of doctors per 100,000 people, right? And this one shows you how many DALYS that you get based on the amount of doctors. And one DALY is a disability adjusted life year, where one DALY equals 1 year of life lost due to ill health. So when we go back and look at this graph, we see that it's kind of logarithmic. It flattens off, right? You get a lot of DALYs. You get a lot of life years back when there's only a few doctors, right? Between like 0 and 100 per 100,000 people. But then after that, it starts to get the same, like adding more doctors to 100 doctors, 200, 300, 400, 500. It's not really doing that much difference. So you can see that as there are more doctors per 100,000 people, the amount of impact that you get per doctor additional is low. So if you really want to do the most impact as a doctor, your goal is to do the most amount of impact, then it would be best if you become a doctor and go to somewhere where they don't have as many doctors, somewhere where they don't have 100 to 300 doctors per 100,000 people. In the United States, you're not going to find, in well-developed countries, you're not going to find this. So this is something to consider, right? How much impact is the career that we're going to pick going to do? So the common ways we think of having a greater impact doesn't actually deliver. Some people are like, oh, I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna save people's lives. Great, yeah, it's good. But it's not gonna have as much impact as you might have thought it's going to have. So let's take a look at some of the examples of the highest impact careers in history, which is medical research. And there's another one that I'm gonna mention to you. So if you still wanna do good, you could do medical research. This is an image here. Okay, let's take a look. So in pre-1968, there was a cholera challenge, right? Which is severe dehydration led to millions of deaths annually, right? So in 1968, there was a solution. If you give someone glucose and salt drip in an IV, it was shown to prevent death, but it required hospital equipment and trained staff, to set up the IV, to give the precise drip amount, right? But Dr. David Nolan, right, at a refugee camp, like in this Bangladesh-Burma border area, he found that if you give people the right solution, so the right concentration and the right time, and you drink it orally, it could be just as effective as an IV drip. So this was a breakthrough therapy, oral rehydration. If you drank this solution at the right time, at the right concentration, it was just as effective as an IV tube. So you could take something that required medical staff and just drink it. So this was shown that to do a lot of good, huge impact. It says the annual rate of child deaths from diarrhea has plummeted from around 5 million to 1.5 million, researchers estimate. Researchers estimate that the therapy has saved over 50 million lives to date, mostly children. So you could see that this graph they show you here from the book is how many lives saved are going to be saved from a doctor compared to just like a regular doctor, an average doctor, versus Dr. Nolan. Because of his research, because of what he found, that's a huge difference. Look how much difference he saved way over 500,000 lives because of his research compared to a doctor in, let's say, in a well-developed area. Another thing you can ask, we can see, is Dr. Landsteiner. This is the gentleman that discovered blood groups, like A plus, B minus, etc. So knowing those groups, we were able to save tons of lives. A regular Joe Schmo doctor does not save millions of lives. Dr. Nolan saved a lot, 500,000, right? Just, I guess like he's not even giving them like full credit, just 500,000. And this guy, over 10 million lives saved, estimated. So we should really be asking ourselves, what are some of the best ways to make a difference, right? And this chapter comes down to these three things. Either we help more people, or we do something which has benefit that lasts for a longer time, right? Or helping the same amount of people to a greater extent. And this is our social impact. Our social impact is the number of people whose lives you improve and how much you improve them over the long term. So this is what that would look like on a graph. Either this is the amount of people that you're helping, or this is how much you're helping them. If you're just picking up a pencil for somebody, it's a very low degree of help compared to blood groups. Understanding blood groups and being able to save somebody's life, I guess that would be a great degree of helping them. Or this is the amount of people. So your social impact is the area here. Either you help more people to a less extent, or you help less people to a greater extent. So you just want to maximize this graph. That's how you're going to do the most social impact. Okay, so this is actually the most important one. Doing something which has benefits that last the longest time. So that was not actually the correct. Here it is. They believe that this option is the most important because if the effect lasts the longest amount of time, it's going to affect the future generations the most, such as maybe education, helping people, research that is once it's known, it's not going to go away. So this is chapter 2 of the book. All right, go ahead and hit like and subscribe. The next thing we're going to be talking about in the next chapter is, so chapter 3 is 3 ways anyone can make a difference no matter their job. As we saw, you don't have to do medical research or be some, I don't know, president of the United States or president of something so crazy big to make a lot of impact in your life. You can continue to make great impact with the career that you have, which is what we're going to find out in chapter 3. So go ahead and hit like and subscribe so that way you can stay tuned and stay updated on when the next videos come out, because we're going to be covering this whole entire book. And this book is 80,000 hours, and you'll find the playlist in the description below. Thank you again for watching.